TVC Sport Desk.
Over the weekend, Bruno Fernandes was firing on all cylinders in the colours of Manchester United as fans returned to the stadium, and Paul Pogba indeed became a magician, creating assists on the field of play. But out there with the team from the Emirates Stadium, Arsenal Football Club, it's not looking good, and indeed questions are being asked if Mikel Arteta should continue to lead the Gunners. The program is Christian Sports Desk. It's time once again to thrill, inform, and entertain you in the ever-exciting world of sports. But on the show, we will focus on sports development back home in Nigeria, and we're looking forward to a big championship, the maiden edition, to be hosted by the country in a matter of weeks. It's the Aisha Buhari tournament, and it will be holding in the Centre of Excellence, that is the city of Lagos. Miana Akiri is my name, and with me in the studio is the President, CEO, HS Media Group, Taye Ige. It's nice to have you on the show.
Same here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and it's interesting to note that Mr. Taye Ige was one man I watched many years ago, you know, on his favorite sports show on NTA. But then we'll be taking a look at the Super Falcons, who will be the hosts as far as the Six Nation Invitational Tournament, the Aisha Buhari Invitational Women's Football Tournament is concerned, and it is the maiden edition. For the first time in a long while, we're seeing the Falcons, you know, being engaged in a massive tournament like this in front of their home fans. And this is something Nigerians are not used to when it comes to female football in the country.
Precisely. First time after a long while, I remember a number of places, a number of tournaments that the Falcons have played in Nigeria. Last I can remember will be 2002 in Warri, edition of that year's edition of the African Women Cup of Nations, which they won after a grueling final against Ghana, you know, at the Ogara Stadium or somewhere down in Warri there in Delta State. So ever since then, quite a lot has happened. But the Falcons really are, they would reckon, in my opinion, as one of the most under-celebrated achievers that we have around here. I mean, they are easily the most successful Nigerian national team ever, you know, winning the African, you know, Women Championship for a record 11 times or something, whereas our own, their big Super Eagles have done it, you know, how many times. So compared to the Falcons. And beyond that, quietly, a lot of Falcons players are making waves, you know, in different leagues of the world. Yes, people know of the likes of Asisa Toshoala, I think Opara Noze and one or two others, but there are quite a number. And if you had followed this recent tournament somewhere in the US, where the Nigerian Falcons were, you know, where they participated, again, thanks to the doggedness and the vision of the current leadership of the Nigeria Football Federation that is making conscious effort to push, you know, development of the women's game. If you watch the Falcons at that tournament, you will see several players on earth, you know, especially when the number of regulars couldn't show up, and then you find the coaches bringing in, and there are quite a lot of Nigerian players in diaspora, you know, playing for and ready, able, and willing to play for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. So coming home again with the super powers, what we call the powerhouses of the African game. They don't come any better in Ghana, in South Africa, in Mali, Morocco, Cameroon. You know what these countries can do when it comes to female football at the senior level. Now that is what is coming to our country from the 13th of September under the aegis of Her Excellency, the First Lady of Nigeria, Dr. Aisha Buhari, who has graciously consented that, you know, she will lend her very massive, you know, reputation behind this tournament. So it's a win-win, a great one awaits everyone.
Well, when we talk about a great one, awaiting everyone as far as this tournament is concerned, questions, are being asked. We're not just going to see the best of rivalry, knowing fully well that, countries who will be coming also stopped the Falcons, from qualifying for, major championships when it comes to female football, like the Olympics. So you expect, rivalry at that stage, or maybe the Falcons, getting a pound of flesh when others couldn't get the job done to qualify for tournaments like, the Olympics. But when we take a look at football development, how important, is it to have this inaugural edition in Lagos with the array of stars that we'll be seeing?
Okay, thank you. But before I go to that, let me just offer one or two opinions on this, on not qualifying for the Olympics by the Falcons and indeed also the Nigerian, the male dream team. Truly, I think CAF has a duty to look at its qualification plan.
Calendar.
The plan just, it needs to be rejigged. It is such that that doesn't give opportunity for the best to emerge. You don't get to a situation where powerhouses are meeting, at the early stage of the tournament in a knockout series, and then at the end of the day, you have minions, getting to the world stage, as we saw. Without disrespect to the countries that represented Africa, they know that the powerhouses went there, and that's why you saw what you saw. Now, talking about this tournament coming home before Lagos. Okay, so we were guests, i.e., as the LOC, we were guests of His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, a couple of weeks ago. And I can tell you that hardly could we have hoped for anything better, anything warmer in terms of reception, in terms of what, in terms of what to expect. Look, His Excellency has opened this state to this tournament. 2 stadia are going to be in use, and the stadia are undergoing massive, accelerated, renovations as we speak, just to get them ready for the tournament. And then when at the level of the executive governor, you have such, encouraging and warm reception, then down the line, you're going to have massive, cooperation, and the entire state is open, waiting for this tournament. For the benefit of fans, fans from Agege Stadium to Teslim Balogun are going to see the best of female football. And as it has been said repeatedly in the past, it is becoming clearer by the day that indeed the future of this game is feminine. And we can't wait for that to be seen around here in Lagos.
Well, we can't wait to be seen around here in Lagos. If you've just tuned in, you're watching the program Sports Desk, and if you're watching on TVC Entertainment, we will continue the show on our different platforms, including channel 418 on DSTV. So you can indeed join us as we indeed take a look at the maiden edition of the Aisha Buhari Invitational Tournament, and then you'll be having 6 African countries. With me in the studio, I've got the president and CEO of HS Media Group. Taking a look at what to expect.
We are actually the marketing consultants to the tournament, and our main responsibility is to take this tournament to corporate Nigeria and as well as public sector. That this is one project that, from what I have heard, the director of organization, Aisha Falode, you want to confuse the two. Okay. And then, of course, the chairman of the LOC, Barrister Seyi Akiwumi, say this will be an annual. It will be something that...
I was going there. I was going to ask that.
Yes, it's something that Nigerians will see every now and then. And then, of course, fun, indeed, big fun awaits everyone.
Well, big fun awaits everyone. And let's take a look at the Falcons and other women's national team on the continent. So much attention has been given to their male counterparts. And you made mention of CAF rejigging so many processes. When we take a look at women's football, with events or tournaments like this, how crucial is it to have CAF presidents and FIFA presidents come down to Nigeria and be a part of this historical event?
All right, so you talk about what we call collateral benefits. When President Amaju Pinnick won the FIFA Council seat, we rejoiced, but we were all happy. But there are quite a number of things that come with such victories, and this is what we are beginning to see. That's why I describe them as collateral benefits. I mean, you can imagine how, quote and unquote, easy it would have been for him to secure the participation and the physical presence of the numero uno himself. Gianni Infantino, president of FIFA, is going to be here for this tournament. The Secretary General of FIFA herself, a Nigerian in a manner of speaking, having walked around here. She's just a sister from neighboring Senegal here and has worked in Abuja before. She'll be home for this tournament. And of course, the president of CAF, brand new mint president, Mosepe will also be here for the tournament. Now, these are what we call status conferral elements. They confer a status on this tournament. That this is not just, it's not just in the capacity, in the caliber, beg your pardon, of the participating teams. As I said, they are the powerhouses of female football in Africa. But in addition to that, to confer a status of authenticity and class and prestige on this tournament, these notable big men at the global and continental stage are going to be here. If you add all of this to the fact that this is being hosted in the center of
excellence,
and a place where we have a governor that has been very aptly described as the Games Master General of Lagos, for
the first time we saw, the Eagles play a competitive match in the city
Lagos,
of Lagos.
Since the days of Sunday Olise, that hasn't happened.
That hasn't happened.
And it's happened right under his watch. And this is also going to happen. Lagos hasn't really hosted a tournament in how many years around
Nigeria,
here?
Ghana,
I think Nigeria Ghana 2000 was the last tournament.
Cup,
that Lagos hosted. Yes.
And now,
so this is a clarion call really on corporate Nigeria, that this is where to put your money behind. I mean, put your wallet behind your wheel, and put your money where your mouth is, as they say. This is the place to be in terms of getting
bigger than
attention,
this.
Eyeballs assured, attention of fans in their millions assured. So why are you not there?
Well, joining us on set is the president, Nigeria Women Football League, Aisha Buhari. It's nice to have you on the show.
There's only one president in Nigerian football, and that is the Nigerian Football Federation president, Amaju Pinnick.
The chairperson?
And the chairperson of the Nigerian
It's nice to have you. Well, Aisha Buhari, quickly, let's take a look at the Falcons and this event. Taige was of the opinion that the Falcons and women's football on the continent is highly underrated. Underrated in the sense that when we take a look at what they've done on the continent, winning the Falcon Trophy, not once, not twice, but you're looking at about 9 times and beyond. Taking a look at the array of stars that they've presented, and also the Falcons qualified for the World Cup even before the Super Eagles in the year 1990. Why has it been so difficult over the years to have, great tournaments like this for the Falcons?
Well, if you want to tick the achievement box of the Falcons, you will tick 100% in terms of results and in terms of performance. We will be overflogging the issues when we start reeling them out. We know they are the most successful national women's team in Africa. And they have competed on the global stage repeatedly and even got to the quarterfinals of the World Cup once. They've played in the second round in France only in 2019. I think the problem with inequality and gender parity in sports cuts across board. The problem the Super Falcons are having is the problem of being recognized for their worth. You see, women are beginning to take up gender issues surrounding and around sport, which is why you will have the United States women's team going to court to say they want parity in payment,
equal payment, just like the male counterparts.
Just like the male counterparts, because they put in equal work. On the continent of Africa, the story is the same. The Super Falcons, big team, big names, big achievements, much more achievements than the men. But we are not saying it to bring the team. But the records are there to speak. But the records are there to speak. But speaking of this tournament, this is one way that we want to recognize the achievements of all the big teams in Africa. The Aisha Buhari Cup, or the Six Nation Invitational Tournament as we know it, is a convergence of the best in Africa. Nigeria, Cameroon. Nigeria is #1 in Africa by FIFA ratings. Cameroon is #2. You have Ghana, you have South Africa. Morocco is the new powerhouse of African football. Big spenders, money, facilities, motivation. It's all there.
Just like football in Europe.
Just like football in Europe. So the convergence of these big nations for women in Nigeria, courtesy of the one who initiated this dream, the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, means that the AFCON for women, we call it AFCON, Africa Women Cup of Nations. For women, this is like a dress rehearsal, because these are the big names.
These are the big teams you expect at the biggest stage.
To be at the biggest stage. So it is, we are giving Nigerians the taste of what's ahead. We are also giving them that the platform to know the worth of women's football, to know the quality that you will have in women's football, to know the competitive nature of women's football in Africa. This is the stage.
And Aisha Folode can go on and on talking if I don't interject. But now we've been talking about the politicking of the game on the continent. And we're seeing FIFA presidents who has agreed to also be a part of this event. How important is this to the development of women's football in Nigeria?
Very, very important. When you have the big names, the global leaders of the game coming to be in attendance for a big tournament like this, you must know that there's some kind of seal of approval in what we are doing. You must know that there's some kind of an approval for a nation taking the initiative. Don't forget, this is not just a tournament. It's also a tournament that has, an advocacy theme around it. Like you have when FIFA is pushing for gender in workplace, gender in parity in payment for players, when they are doing campaigns for safe home, campaign against gender-based violence in sport. There's a theme behind this tournament. The theme is the Future Assured program of the First Lady of Nigeria, Dr. Mrs. Buhari. She runs a foundation, the foundation that she's doing an amazing, tremendous work with in terms of looking at women-based issue, health, education, economic empowerment. And there's some kind of correlation and synergy between what football for good is about, football for impact, football to address the immediate need of the society where a competition is taking place. So the Future Assured program, and in collaboration with the Aisha Buhari Foundation and this tournament, the Six Nation, there's a synergy. We are going to use this tournament to preach the message of when we play together, we win together. That means we all play good. We are playing good with this tournament that will be starting in Lagos on September 13 to the 21st of September. It's going to be like 10 days of world and global focus on Lagos. We are very grateful to His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who has graciously agreed for Lagos to be the host city for this global event, and for Lagos to be providing 2 venues, world-class venues for. You need to see what Mobolaji Johnson Stadium looks like now. What we used to call the Onikon Stadium. It's unbelievable. We posted a picture on Instagram, and some people were actually arguing this is not Nigeria. You know, and I was wondering. I said, look, renovation work started 2 years ago. You need to. No, Eko is Eko. Whatever Eko wants to do, Eko does not hold back.
But now I have my worry, and this is the challenge. The Aisha Buhari Foundation, Taigi made mention of the fact that this is a call for corporate Nigeria to indeed be a part of this. But we also know that having women in sports, taking a look at other activities that a woman must also take part in, taking care of the home or learning the ropes, the career of a footballer is very short. And when you take a look at that of a woman, there is so much expectation. Apart from being a mother, you also want to be a success as a footballer. With foundations like this and many more, how much impact can we make in the lives of the average Nigerian and African woman?
The woman is made to multitask by our nature. The last Women's World Cup, women brought their babies for the tournament. They took turns taking care of the baby. While the mother is training on the pitch, the team doctor is around somewhere, and the nanny looking at, taking care of children. We are multitask by nature. So we have combined this effectively, which is why we're asking for that pay parity, which is why we're asking for that equality, which is why we're asking for the field to be made level, for us to thrive, for us to flourish, and for us to, just attain that goal and that height we have set for ourselves. This is a call to action. The Women Economic Empowerment of the Future Assured program is also addressing these issues of equality, of parity, of giving equal representation in governance, in leadership. You cannot believe that until the recent FIFA president, the representation of women on the FIFA Council was 1 out of 37. Now you have 6. We are making progress. In over 200 years of FIFA's existence, we only had a woman secretary general just a few years ago, just before the World Cup. So this is a president of FIFA that is not only sensitive to women's issues, but has recognized the worth of women also in the development and the conversations around football. And this is what this Aisha Buhari and the Cup is about in Lagos and the Six Nations tournament.
I'll come back to you. We'll talk about the issue of equal pay, but I'll throw it indirectly to Taige. Well, Taige, let's take a look at a tournament of this nature, and then we're looking at what this would bring to the table. Marketing of these events is something that will be a huge task, so to say. When I mean a huge task, you get a bit of challenge in an era of COVID-19. But how has it been, so far, in terms of trying to get everyone on board? And when you talk about it being an annual event, what are your fears?
Okay, so before we got into this, truly you were just similarly inclined as you are in terms of, this will be such a challenging task for us. But of course, we are used to challenges and we are prepared to take it on. But truly having come into it now, we just realized how wrong we were. The truth is that everyone wants to listen to, which is very crucial in an assignment of this nature. When you have a listening ear, you are there almost. And every door we are knocking, every shoulder we are tapping, people are at least ready to listen. And they are listening well. As we speak, our guys are on the field speaking to appropriate persons at the appropriate levels of corporate governance and all that. And I can tell you that it's not. So why? Really, at the end of all of this, we'll be happy to sit back and take a look and do a postmortem. But it is beginning to be clear to us right now at Hotspots that truly the female football is an untapped gold mine in Nigeria.
I mean, it's going to be the future.
That's what FIFA president said years ago. But I think we've gone past that to say that that future is there. And truly, the Amazon herself is being in charge at this point in Nigeria. I think the country is lucky because you need vision to have had to take female football from what it was to what it is now and to what it is also capable of being in future. So marketing it, yes, it's a very huge, experience, but I can tell you, it's the story is very easy to tell because you have very good people ready to listen to you first and foremost.
Now, before I come to Aisha Faludi, when we take a look at the marketing aspect, we're looking at the business aspects of the game.
Yes, please.
I recall that as far back as 2010, the Super Eagles, with the presidential task force then, got as much as $20,000 each to ensure that the Eagles qualify for the World Cup. And this is a national team that has brought glory to the most populous black nation on earth, the Super Falcons. And everyone is asking, in America, the players today are talking about equal pay because the American women feel they've brought more successes to the country than the male counterparts. And even when they talk about culture on paper, and we've seen what the Falcons can do you think that with what the Falcons are made of, with what they've achieved, they could get much more better in the future than what we're seeing today when it comes
Okay, so the list the American female national team, women national team could have asked for is what they have asked. Parity. Otherwise, they should be asking for more. In our environment here, the Falcons have won African. I don't know if you remember that at a point in this country, in this continent, beg your pardon, they were winning. They had become like predictable, perennial winners until, and even up till now, once or twice you find one mistake somewhere and one country wins, and of course, next edition they go and take it back. 3 editions of AFCON, the Super Eagles have won. The girls have won 9?
No, 11.
11.
11 out of 13.
I know it's an odd number. 11. So the least they should be asking for is parity. But that in itself would be a component of the general the general quest really for equality among the sexes. So if you have won 11 and I have won 3, the least you can do is to ask for parity. And I believe that at the appropriate time, again, like marketing this tournament, that the way I was saying is almost like a piece of cake. You find that this will be an easy sell the moment Aisha Faludi and her team decide to make it. And I know they won't go to court, most unlikely, but the truth is that they sure do have a very firm ground on which to stand to ask for parity.
Aisha Faludi, the future of women's football today is in your hands. And no doubt they've been arguably, the best team when it comes to sports in Nigeria. The more tournaments they have, the more earnings, these women would have.
I think I need to mention something here, Mian. You see this present executive committee of the Nigeria Football Federation, they have done so much to enhance the brand image of the Super Falcons by not only exposing them to high quality games, but also making it consistent. In the last 6 months, what am I even saying? In the last 3 months, the Falcons have played in 3 very crucial major international invitational tournaments. We were in Turkey. We won that tournament.
Under the new manager.
We went to the United States for the U.S. Women's Series. That was a tournament that was like when we first went for the Women's World Cup in the United States in 1999 in terms of attendance and in terms of media visibility. There was so much talk around women's football. And I got asked so many times, your team is very good. Your team, if they had what the United States have, you will be world and global leaders. And what do they have? They have the cooperation and the investment of the corporates in the United States women's soccer or women's football, as we call it here. That tournament alone had AT&T, had Volkswagen, there were so many of them. And the stadium was vibrant. This is what we are trying to create with the Super Falcons. I'm not sure that there has ever been a 4-nation or 6-nation or any kind of invitation for women's football in Nigeria. So this is another first, where we are bringing the top teams in Africa to come and play in Lagos, and for everybody to see and appreciate that indeed women's football is not a stroll in the park anymore. It's as competitive as the men's game. Let me also shock you. When we were playing the Women's World Cup in France, the Africa Cup of Nations was going on at about the same time. More people watched the Women's World Cup than they did the AFCON. That's to tell you the quality that is in the game presently.
Well, Aisha Falode, I must say very big thank you for coming on the show. But then let's take a look at the future and what is expected now in terms of pay, for players of the Falcons. The Americans are talking tough and would know the successes that these ladies have had. What assurances are you giving them as the chairperson of Nigeria women's football?
They have not asked, but efforts have been made to give them that parity. Remember the outcome in Ghana. That was the first time that you would ever pay the Falcons players the same bonus as the Super Eagles. That happened. So, some progress is being made by this present executive committee. We never heard of the Falcons playing friendlies before now. But now we are hearing they are playing friendlies so frequently that in no time we will lose count. But I know that this board is sensitive to the plight of women's football, and they are addressing it. I am also involved in that conversation, and you can see that even the league is also finding its own space of expression.
Because we'll be having representatives, on the continent as far as the CAF Women's Football League is concerned. Time, not our friend. Final word from you as we go.
Okay, precisely. Corporates, this is your space for now. This is your playground. You have the opportunity to support the Super Falcons of Nigeria as they host 5 other national teams across Africa, the powerhouses, and they are all going to be here. And indeed, FIFA president, CAF president, Secretary General of FIFA, all of them are coming to give, administrative backing to this novel venture by the Nigeria Football Federation.
I must say a very great thank you, Taye Ige, the President, CEO, HS Media Group, and also Aisha Falode, the Chairman, Nigeria Women Football League, for being a part of the show. Well, from the 13th of September, it will be the best of football in the city of Lagos, as all eyes will be on the Center of Excellence. From Morocco to Mali, indeed, you're talking about Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, and Cameroon. They will be participating in the maiden edition of the Aisha Buhari Invitational Tournament. It doesn't get bigger than this. And like they say, whatsoever a man can do, a woman probably or would do better, whichever way.
We work side by side.
We work side by side. Okay.
TVC Sport Desk.